The National Treasury has tabled the second supplementary budget for the financial year 2019-2020, in which there is a net reduction of about 74.4 billion shillings in planned expenditure for the financial year ending June 30th, 2020, which now stands at 1.9 trillion shillings, with development expenditure having been slashed by 98.7 billion shillings, even as recurrent expenditure is revised upwards to 24.3 billion shillings. Now, the budget realignment comes against a backdrop of adverse business environment occasioned by the COVID-19 pandemic. And Kenya's economic growth is projected to slump to just 1% in 2020 as the economy suffers a beating from the spread of the COVID-19. This is according to the International Monetary Fund, which projects that the global economic will contract by 3% this year. Now, Julian Samboko with the details.
If the forecast by the International Monetary Fund is anything to go by, Kenya is set for the slowest growth by its economy since it suffered a slump in the face of the 2008 post-election violence. The forecast by the IMF will also see Kenya post the slowest economic growth in East Africa and the second largest year-on-year decline in growth, behind Rwanda, which is projected to see its growth plunge from 10.1% in 2019 to 3.5% this year. On April 13, 2020, the International Monetary Fund approved debt relief for 25 low-income countries, a cushion that Kenya missed owing to its status as a low-middle-income economy. IMF's chief economist Gita Gopinath has described the present crisis as the Great Lockdown.
This is a crisis like no other, which means there is substantial uncertainty about the impact it will have on people's lives and livelihoods.
The IMF further warns that developing economies such as Kenya face considerable risk owing to limited resources to adequately respond to the emerging challenges. This comes just a day after a section of members of parliament challenged the reduction of VAT from 16 to 14%, citing loss of much-needed revenue by the government to respond to the crisis.
The most reliable sources of income for any government is VAT, income tax, and these other predictable ones. How are we going to stabilize the health sector when this thing boomerangs, as is predicted by health specialists, if we are sending money away?
That by this particular proposal, Honorable Speaker, we are going to lose revenues to the tune of 49.5 billion shillings in one quarter. Maybe we should have been asking ourselves, would we rather have this 49.5 billion shillings and be able to offer food rations to the people of Kenya?
Growth forecasts for Kenya's economy give quite a varied picture. The central bank, in its March 2020 Monetary Policy Committee meeting, projected 3.4% growth for 2020. The National Treasury, on the other hand, is expecting anything below 3% this year. The IMF now projects just 1%. What is clear, however, is that growth will decline in 2020. Julian Amboko, NTV.